in Allentown, PA. She's a teacher. She'll be good here. Kay, welcome. How are you today? Okay.
Hi, Chris. How are you today?
All right, Kay. Nice to talk to you. Let me hear what you have to say. Fire away.
All right. Well, I've been teaching for 29 years, and coincidentally, in a high school named Parkland High School in Allentown. And this past fall, we had a very similar incident. We had two male sophomores who were making very credible threats to the school. Thank goodness we had a few of our students who heard these threats and who took these threats seriously and went to our police officer who's in our school. Those two are now in jail. Thank God.
Wow. Even they're in jail as sophomores? You're allowed to put out 16-year-old kids?
They have two 15-year-olds, yes. They are both in jail. A juvenile detention facility, but the FBI came in and our local, Lehigh County authorities in Allentown and acted swiftly. They were terrific.
Did you know the two kids?
Yes, both.
Were you scared of the both of them as well?
No, not particular. My daughter, who's a sophomore, did know them growing up in middle school and high school, and I had to take her home that day everything went down and happened. She was scared to death. And I have a senior who wasn't as close to it, 2 years apart, but, the chatter wasn't there. But the two are now in jail. But what I want to say about this is a couple different points. Is, the NRA, Congress, the president, they're bought. Everyone's bought. But who I'm sort of disappointed in is the NEA, who is the National Education Association, who happens to be the biggest union in the country next to the...
We lost Kay. You there, Kay, still?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, run that by. So we lost you for a second. The NEA, it's called?
The NEA. It's the National Education Association, and it is the largest union in the country next to the Teamsters.
Okay.
They are the National Teachers Union.
All right, so why are you disappointed in them?
My colleagues are being killed all over the country. Why aren't they blasting the NRA? Why aren't they blasting Trump? How many teachers have to die? People don't talk about the teachers dying as much, and I understand. Gun control has to be done, obviously. But another point in this, too. I'm in class last week, Chris, talking to some kids. Kids exhausted in my class. I said, buddy, what's up? Why are you so tired? This kid is up 2, 3, 4 in the morning every day. At night, parents don't know, playing video games. He's not playing Kong like we used to in the 80s. You know what he's playing? Combat, warfare. These kids are desensitized.
I think that's an excellent point. And good call, Kay. The video games are probably a factor here. There's no question about it. They are desensitized. That's well put out. Well put. Yeah, I get it. My kid plays a lot of video games too. It seems like, and I keep an eye on him, and it seems like he's wrapped up in the football games, the basketball games. So at least I don't like him doing it, but it's sports themed oriented, at least. Who knows what sets a kid off? Who knows? You could be the greatest parent in the world. You could be a negligent parent. Turns out you got a Hall of Famer on your hands. You could be the greatest parent in the world, and a kid's a disaster. Who knows? Who knows? But I'll tell you right now, for those of you who think, guns are not the answer, gun control, nothing to do with this, it's about mental illness and everything else. One day, some nutcase is going to go parade in your school district, and your kid is going to be in the line of fire, or grandkid, or cousin, or wife who's a teacher. One day. Then you're going to have how many people did you read about the amount of people and a lot of those are Republicans who go to those country music people. Do you know how many people who sat at that country music festival out there in Vegas who were diehard, love guns, gun control is the waste of time? You know how many people found religion when those bullets were flying around? Did you read those stories? Found religion. Here's Jared in Alabama. He's aboard here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jared, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Hey, good, Chris. Good to talk to you. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, so I've got a couple buddies who have like these AR-15s, AK-47s, all of these assault rifles as they're named. First off, an assault rifle is meant for infantry use. If you read the definition of assault rifle, these guns are fun to shoot, but they're completely unnecessary to be in the United States or anywhere for that matter.
Well, why do your friends, Jared? Why do your friends have them?
My friends have them because their moms and dads are overloaded with money. Now these are like 25, 30-year-olds that I'm talking about. It's not kids running around just guns ablazing. A
little more responsible. But remember, the kid and the guy in Vegas was 60 with all those kind of guns who killed 58 people. But go ahead.
You're right, and that's what I'm saying. I completely disagree with people being able to buy AR-15s and AK-47s because stuff like this does happen. I mean, if an 18-year-old kid can go out and buy a gun like this, we need to reform gun laws. You know, I am all for having guns for hunting purposes or for self-protection. You know, I own guns myself. I enjoy shooting guns for fun in my backyard, but I will never own an AR-15 or an AK-47 or things like that. And going back to a previous caller earlier, is talking about officers in schools. You know, I think 2 officers in a school, it's not going to prevent anything.
No way.
It could cause less damage. And it could be used as a deterrent, just like I have cameras outside my house to deter robbers.
And who's going to pay for? I mean, but listen, you also got to have the 2 officers at the middle school. You got to have 2 officers at the kindergarten. You got to have 2 officers at the junior high school. You got to have 2 officers at the Catholic school. You got to have 2 officers in the middle school. I mean, my town has 3 middle schools, has 1 million Presbyterian. It's only 19,000 people. Has 3 middle schools, has a junior high school, has a high school, and has 2 or 3 kindergartens. Now, that if you put 2 officers, which isn't enough, but if you put 2 officers at every place with guns, that's 20, 25 people. Who's paying for that? They're not going to do it for free. Who's paying them $50? Who's paying that $50
every week?
Say again?
We're paying for it. We're paying for it out of our checks every single week that goes to fund the government. I mean, sign me up. Let's go. I'm all about protecting America and the people that live here. Sign me up. If you want to put me in a school with a gun and walk around to protect our kids and our husbands and our wives as teacher, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, again, that you're coming into a budgetary scenario, but I don't know if the budget is there to supply every town in America with 50 policemen to take care of the schools or the gyms, things like that. It's a lot of money. Who's paying for that? To me, 2 cops, you needed 20 cops in it. This high school's got 3,100 people in it. It's a huge high school. Do you have one? If you have a basketball, let me ask you this way. A basketball arena in a small Division I that holds 2,100 or 33,000 people, you think if there was a riot, 1 cop would be able to take care of it? Same thing with the high school. Here's Michael in San Diego, California. Mike, take it away, pal. What do you have for me?
I was going to lighten things up a little bit. You know, the Bob Seger song is Mackinac City, not Mackinac Island.
Mackinac City. I know. I screwed. Well, what is the song? I thought it was Roll on Me. What is the song? I don't have the album in front of me. It's a long time ago.
It's something Roll Away or something like that.
We'll look up the song. It's a great song, though.
I'll tell you what, he has one of the best live albums. Nutbush, City Limits. If you like that, Mackinac City, you love Traveling Man, Jody's Girl. And I think it's where he says Detroit audience is the best rock and roll audience.
And in a lot of ways, Seeger is very, very underrated historically.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller. And in some ways, too, his songs hit home. And compared to, I was listening to the You Never Give Me Your Money, the Beatles. Sometimes bands, they just throw fragments of songs in their lines just to make them sound good. And they don't really tell the story like a Bob Seger.
Yeah, fair. But, Seger does tell a good story. Go ahead. What else?
I'm looking forward to this Bobby Knight thing. And, I've kind of gone back and forth with Bobby Knight. And I'm kind of on his side right now. I know he's a lunatic, but you've said it. The guys on his team love him. He won. All his kids graduated. They're all good kids. If he would have not been maybe a lunatic. And one thing, too, if you listen to that YouTube interview, He's the only coach, big time coach, that didn't like what Wooden was doing, and he called him out.
Yeah, he called Wooden a phony. He called Wooden a phony.
Yeah, he did, and he's the only guy that says that. And I wonder if
and the one thing you know about Knight, and good call there, Mike. The one thing you do know about Knight, and Knight had his. He had his peccadillos, boy. We all know that he was a bully, and he was rough, and he was just unlikable in so many areas. The one thing about Knight. He was at Indiana a long time, was he not? FBI investigate him? How about that? Knight ever run into trouble with kids scholastically? Anybody? Anybody? You ever get nailed for a recruiting violation? Say what you want about Knight. And there's a lot of things I don't like about him either. And he's hard to root for. Be the first to admit. There's two things you have to give him credit for, even if you hate Knight, and you know who you are out there, you hate him. One, he is not a good coach. He is one of the great coaches in the history of American sport. That's the first thing. Not just good. He's, from a coaching perspective, coaching basketball, he's one of the top, collegiately, he's one of the top 2-3 guys in history. He never had the talent Wooden had. How many great pros did Knight end up? Isaiah? How many? That's about it. I mean, Wooden had Kareem, Walton. I mean, come on. He's one of the great coaches in the history of college basketball. Top 2 or 3, without a doubt. And top 2 or 3 all time, from a basketball standpoint. And he didn't cheat. All these coaches cheat, not Knight, including Wooden. Not Knight. 15 in front of the hour. Mad Dog.